Whew, this book smells a little musty. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree. Mr. Willoughby's Christmas tree came by special delivery, full and fresh and gleaming green, the biggest tree he had ever seen. I think after this book, Nona's going to have to use her inhaler. I'm quite the actress. He dashed downstairs to open the door. This was the moment he waited for. A magnificent tree, splendid, he cried. Please, sir, won't you carry it right inside? I think it might look best this year, right in the parlor corner here. My, how times have changed. Parlors have replaced Christmas tree areas with living rooms. And it could be a fig tree, an aluminum tree. I had an aluminum tree once, and I cried. What a wuss. But once the tree stood in its place, Mr. Willoughby made a terrible face. The tree touched the ceiling, then bent like a bow. Oh, good heavens, he gasped. Something must go. Wow, that must be some big tree. Those old houses have very high ceilings. Let's see. Baxter the butler was called on in haste to chop off the top, though it seemed quite a waste. That's great, Mr. Willoughby cried with glee. Now we can start to trim my tree. When the trimming was well underway, the top was placed on a silver tray. Baxter said, I know just who'd be delighted with this Christmas tree. So it was presented to Miss Adelaide, Mr. Willoughby's upstairs maid. Guess who was our butler and maid? You got it, me. Butler, maid, doctor, Christmas slave to the endless toys I wrapped. Maybe that's why Nona didn't like wrapping presents this year. They looked atrocious. There was nothing but tape, even duct tape. Me, a Nona, packing extraordinaire as Mommy calls me, used duct tape. Okay. Won't this tree be a pretty sight when I have trimmed it later tonight? But the top, oh dear, I'm so afraid, will have to be cut, sighed Miss Adelaide. The top was, and so was scissors sharp and long. She snipped off the top while she hummed a song. The top was set out the very next day in back of the house to be thrown away. Look how cute. And look how cute still. The little tree caught the eye of Tim, the gardener, passing by. He certainly was not about to see that little tree get thrown out. He hurried in right home straight away to see what Mrs. Tim would say. Fa la la, surprise, surprise. His wife could not believe her eyes. But our house, she said, is so snug and small. I do not believe we need it all. And before Tim had a chance to shout, she cut the top and threw it out. Oh my goodness. What do you think happens next? Barnaby Bear was padding by. It almost hit him in the eye. Now who would throw a tree away so very close to Christmas Day? I'll take it home. That's what I'll do. Look, Mama Bear, I've a present for you. Look how cute. Isn't it a pretty tree? Yawned Mama Bear quite drowsily. Before we go to sleep this year, let's have a Christmas party, dear. But Little Bear, standing off far, cried out, "The tree won't hold a star." Barnaby said, "Let's cut a hunk off at the bottom, here at the trunk." That doesn't rhyme. Threw my total Dr. Seuss lyrics off. But Mama Bear just shook her head and sliced the tree top off instead. Whoa! How many more treetops could there possibly be off that already tiny Christmas tree? Aren't I a genius? I just made that up. "Jolly by golly," Barnaby said with a kick. "Mama, that surely is just the right trick. Let's trim it with bells and honey rings, some berries and tinsel, and popcorn on strings." Mama said, "Trim it just as you like. I've got to tidy up for the night. This top we won't need any more. I'll put it just outside the door." Really? Caves have doors? Okay. There we go. Later on that frosty night, Frisky Fox came into sight. He spied the treetop, rubbed his chin, opened his sack, and stuffed the top in. Now, who's going to end up with this little speck of a tree? How many more times can you cut it, you think? I see at least maybe one. Maybe. He scampered home and jumped his gate. The Christmas present couldn't wait. "It's even better than mincemeat pie," said Mrs. Fox with a happy sigh. Then the foxes saw that their Christmas prize was just a wee bit oversized. "There, my dears, now don't you worry. I'll fix the top now in a hurry." Snip! Well, on to the next house, I would say. Barely. Benjamin Rabbit found it then, just outside the fox's den. It seems he thought, most certainly, Santa left it for my family. "Look," he cried, "see the tree I found?" With that he called his family round. Then there was a merry-making, rollicking, frolicking, carrot-shaking celebration round the tree. All were happy as rabbits could be. Aw. Benjamin Rabbit, with his own hand, sliced a carrot and made a stand. "Now let's see how this will look in our little chimney nook." But right away the children cried, "Look, it's leaning off to one side." "It's too tall, that's all," said Mr. Rabbit. And as though it were a summer carrot, she gave it a chop and threw away the top. Alrighty. Oh my gosh. Are you guys counting and keeping up with how many reuses this little tree gets? Or the great big tree? Then Mistletoe Mouse just happened to see that tiny tip of a Christmas tree. He pulled it through the snow and ice. Up some stairs he fell down twice. At last he reached his own cozy home. "It's just the right size," said Mrs. Mouse. Then at the top, if you please, they put a star made out of cheese. Oh. How cute. All right. Oh, wasn't it grand to have a tree exactly like Mr. Willoughby? Merry, Merry Christmas. I love you kids so much. I have 1,000 Christmas stories, But I guess the best thing is tradition. I used to love to read books. We put Santa's milk and cookies on a special milk and cookie tray. I hope you kids have one. And we made a new tradition when Mommy Kelly was little and Mommy Jennifer was a bit older. We moved to Michigan. We had vanilla ice cream pies. But that was the only year that we found them. So every year after that, I would make gingerbread cookies and we would stuff them full of vanilla ice cream and smushed them down and ate them. And I hope that you kids get to do that or share with me some of your favorite Christmas memories. I love you all. Merry, Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad and Buona Natale.